It's time for the weekly cover price top 10 list. And forget about Dazzler books. It's time for Steve Lombard's spec. Up next on this video from Bronzeville Comics. Hello, panelologists. This is Jim from Bronzeville Comics coming to you with another video. And before we get started, like, comment, subscribe. Really appreciate all that. Check out the description of this video. Links to my Instagram, whatnot, eBay store, email. Different ways you can get in touch with me. Or if you're looking to find some comic books. So Covrprice is a pricing service. They're a unique pricing service in that they aggregate values for both graded as well as raw books. And every week they publish the top 10 list in terms of the books that are most sold on the secondary market of sales they track. It's generally going to be eBay sales, maybe some others. Now, I don't have any agreement with whatnot with Covrprice, but I find this list kind of interesting to just keep a pulse on what's going on in the comic market. We have some new books. We have some old books. Let's dive into the list. And starting, as we always do, with number 10 on the list. And this is Hellverine, number 1, the variant edition. This is the Joshua Cassandra spoiler. It's the first appearance of Daken, the son of Wolverine, as Hellverine. And the first appearance of the Hellfire Warriors. No slabs yet. Book is selling for about $10, so what, double cover price? But this is interesting because this is a spoiler variant. I don't think it was a ratio spoiler variant. There weren't too many eyes on the book when it first debuted, although Hellverine's first appearance was making the list for many, many weeks when that came out. This cover was a spoiler cover that remained hidden both from fans and retailers. The first appearance of Hellverine took about a month to show up on our top 10 list, but Daken's Hellverine was only a fraction of the time. The Hellverine was a popular character when Wolverine took on the mantle. Here we are nearly a year later, and his son now wields the flame. The book also has an additional key moment. Is the first appearance of the Hellfire Warriors, an experimental group of rogue soldiers. Fans of the Hellverine storylines are enjoying the lore building around this new age of Wolverine. High sale of $15. Okay, so just a lot of people, I guess, jumping into that. The spoiler variant kind of causing excitement. Let's go to number 9, and this is a book I don't think it's been on the list before. This particular variant. This is Doom number 1. It was a one-shot. The Maria Wolf 1 in 25 variant. And we can see, I think this came out 4 weeks ago. Maybe there have been time for slabs to get to market, $165, but people are paying $50, $60 for a high grade book. I'm not a huge fan of this variant. There's a lot of intricate detail in the clothing, but I'm not really sure what he's wearing there. It's just a matter of taste. This one doesn't really do it for me. Some people do like when like the trade dress gets cracked. But whatever. So this has been a popular book that has been all over the lists. Doom continues to be a popular book. The book appealed to fans of the villain, but also fans of rapper MF Doom. And I have heard good things about the story. The book had a subtle tribute to the late rapper on the first page, increasing the desirability of this book. The first page text are direct lines from one of his tracks. This particular cover is a retailer incentive, making it a hotter collector cover. Yeah, so high sale, $96 for a near mint raw. For me, that's a little crazy. For a new book, again, I would be careful with these brand new ratios. Yeah, Doom a popular book, but is it going to maintain this strength in the resale market, or will it just kind of fade in, and the people that want it, or the people that mostly have acquired a copy, you can probably get a copy a lot cheaper 6 months down the road. And that's something I always say with these top 10 lists. Be careful of the new books. Probably 1 in 20 of them is something that's going to take off, and the rest are just going to be, available at a significant discount a little bit down the road. Let's go to number 8. Okay. An old book, X-Men, Uncanny X-Men 266, the first full appearance of Gambit, first cover appearance of Gambit, first in-story appearance of Gambit. I talked about this in a previous video when I unboxed a Hulk 181, that there is a difference between, like, this was, if you were reading X-Men at the time, you're supposed to read this one first. This introduces Gambit in the story. I'd have to look back. If you read the annual 14 first, you're probably confused as to who's this guy. But he's there. It came out first, whatever. But this is the book that collectors go towards. High grade copies are about $130, and 9/8 about the $600+ range. And if we look at this trend, this is an interesting book, right? Now, rumors that Channing Tatum may make an appearance. I mean, there's rumors that anybody may make an appearance in the Deadpool Wolverine movie. I mean, Reb Brown could make an appearance for all we know. And if you know, you know. Book was $500 before the pandemic, up in the $550 range, let's say. And then it had a big jump up to nearly $1,200 and has been on the steady decline ever since. Has kind of flattened out in, let's say, the $650 range. Nice sale recently. Fixed price is $700. Auction for $613 and a Heritage for $576. That's an old slab. I wonder if that made it somewhat less desirable, because there are plenty of brand new, clear, crispy slabs to choose from. So let's look at why this made the list. And Gambit returns to top 10. The book swings back and forth between the top 10 and runners up. It originally started as rumors from Deadpool and Wolverine to propel the character to new heights of popularity instead of being boosted by unconfirmed rumors. Gambit is a memorable character with an epic storyline from the latest hit series X-Men 97. Since the storyline concluded, Gambit-related comic books have seen an increase in interest while we wait for a second season of X-Men 97. Key. It's a key. It's always going to be a key. There are a lot of them out there. I actually didn't look at this aspect of it. There's, interestingly, 21,000 plus Universal, 3,800, only 17% are 9/8. There are 15 9/9s. As of today. There could be more in the future. But again, this is a 1990 book. So there are a lot. I would imagine there are a good number of high-grade copies out there in personal collections. Because people who were collecting then, like I was an adult then, I collected this book. I have it in my personal collection. It's been untouched for 34 years. So it's just kind of sitting there in, a box of books. Uncanny X-Men begins with you. I'm kind of weird that way. How do you fall that way? I have to have up through issue 141 under X for X-Men, and then 142 on under U for Uncanny X-Men. I'm open to change on that, but that's kind of the way that I do it. So anyway, let's go to number, what are we up to? 10, 9, 8, 7. Deadpool, Merc with a Mouth, number 7. First appearance of Lady Deadpool. Oh, the rumor mill is going crazy. I have come across a couple copies of this book. I got one in a collection. I got one at a flea market, really cheap. I think the flea market came back either $9.4 or $9.6. The other one's going to go out. High grade book, $100 plus, $120, $300 for a 9.8. This is a book from 2010, so it's a fairly recent book. I do feel that this will see its day in July, and then after that, it's all downhill. But that's just me. This was it was always, I guess, a popular book, $100 plus before the pandemic, then up to a high of $700. It's kind of settled in at the 9/8 in this $300 to $350 range. Kind of consistently a higher sale here. So let's take a look at the explanation. Move over, Dazzler. Lady Deadpool is the latest talk of the town. As we get closer to the debut of Deadpool and Wolverine, fans are eyeing all footage thoroughly. A couple of days ago, a Best Friends Day trailer was released, and Lady Deadpool was thought to have been spotted. The moment happens in the blink of an eye, right after the scene of a running Dogpool, which it isn't entirely clear. The legs of the character seem female, which has enough for fan theories to sprout. Yeah, what do the legs look like? Are they male or female? That was like a whole big thing leading up to the Black Panther Wakanda Forever film. Is it Shuri? Is it M'Baku? Is it somebody else? Some Taylor Swift fans still believe she is in this film and will debut as Lady Deadpool. However, some believe the cameo could go to Ryan Reynolds' Lovely Life with Blake Lively. It could be neither of the two, but the theories are going off, and so is this book. I think we'll see a Lady Deadpool as kind of a cameo. Who's going to portray her? I don't know. But this is, let's take a look at the counts. 800 copies on the census, 409 eighths. And this is a book that is worth getting graded in lower grades. I mean, just quickly look on Covrprice. 180 for a 9.6, 157 fair market value for a 9.4. Which for a 2010 book is pretty remarkable. Will it hold? I mean, what's this going to be worth in September? That's my question. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below what you think about the long-term health of Lady Deadpool. Let's go to, we're up to, what number are we up to? 6. And Falling in Love on the Path to Hell, number 1. This is a book that came out last week from Image. This is a 1 in 10 Rian Gonzalez ratio. It's at $15 to $20. I think I did pick up the A cover on this. If you haven't heard of this book, you're missing out. Jerry Dugan and Gary Brown delivered double-length first issue of this new series. The reviews on this recent release have been overwhelmingly positive. Everything from the artwork to the storyline has received high praise. The book is already taking off, and what makes this retailer incentive really pop is the striking artwork of Rian Gonzalez. Gonzalez has had a ton of hot variant covers, and his popularity is ever soaring. The book is just another one to add to his highly collectible portfolio. So, I don't know. Do I have this? Did I get this last week? I think I pulled the number 1, but I think it was a cover A. Let's see. I like to check these things. Like, did I get that one? F. Falling. No, I do not. Maybe I'll see if it's there tomorrow. Anyway, let's go to number 5. Doom Giant Size One Shot number 1. This was number 1 last week. It's been on the list every week. You're going to have to spend 30 some odd dollars, about 150 maybe for a 9.8. And again, be very careful with books that are just coming to market with 9.8s, right? The books that came out like a month ago, those first 9.8s are going to have the most value, usually just based on the short supply at the time. There are going to be plenty of 9.8s of this book coming out soon. Let's just say how many of these are out there, and what track to sales do we have? 2 sales and 1 available. So there's nothing out there, but there will be. There will be. I mean, somebody's submitting 15 copies. 11 of them are 9.8s, and 1 sold for $200 2 days ago. Well, 3 days ago now. So I would say be patient. If you can find it decent, close to cover price raw, that would be where I'd go. Doom is popular, and I think we're all just waiting for that casting announcement to see, potential explosion. But that's he's one of those characters. We had it with Silver Surfer and Galactus, and there's been kind of when they did make the announcement about Galactus, everybody's like, meh. Ghost Rider, Nova, those are all characters people are anticipating coming, and the anticipation is just built up. The anticipation during the pandemic has built things up. And when they actually come to fruition, people are like, oh, okay. But we will see pop as things get announced. I'm sorry. So this one, Doom continues to make waves. In the aftermarket, the book debuted to tons of hype and a strong aftermarket sales. Those sales were amplified when fans discovered the first lines of the book, MF Doom, et cetera, et cetera. There is, I believe, a second print coming out. So I don't think that second print in the long run will be worth more, because I think a lot of people are going to grab it who didn't grab this one. It's usually when the book is a surprise and the supply is relatively low that it has long-term success. Let's go to number 4. And number 4, old friend, New Mutants 98, first appearance of Deadpool. Okay, Wolverine's coming out, et cetera, et cetera. We all know that. You're going to have to pay hundreds for a nice copy. I mean, even like a mid-grade, $250. 9.8s up over $1,000. Let's take a look at the trends on Go Collect. A sale just for $1,300. Auctions going in the $1,200 range. And we could see, look at this. It was blah, 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 blah. Yeah, okay. You know, $1,000, approaching $1,000, a little bit under. So it's kind of in line with the trend line right now. I still think after the movie, there may be a little bit of a correction, but then pandemic hits and people go, boom, up to $2,500. And it's been adjusting ever since. Now, no scarcity of copies. I think there are a lot of copies recently. And this is a book you're going to grade, you know, at a 9 or better, maybe 8.5. And it's still going to have value, but 25,000 universal copies and 4,400 9/8. This was a mutant book from 1991, but it was at the tail end of its run. But I don't think, like, let's say something like, you know, Static or G.I. Joe or Transformers, where the sales were really petering out at the end. I think they were petering out, but I think they quickly then made the transition to X-Force as a new title. I think they just said, let's rejuvenate a new title, cut this off at 100 issues and be done with it. I don't think we're going to find anything enlightening. In case you didn't know, the summer's most anticipated film. It's set to debut in 1 month. Do you have your tickets yet? I do. I have my tickets for Thursday at 10 o'clock. And I want to watch it then because the Olympic opening ceremonies are Friday at noon, and I'm going to be watching Olympics for 2.5 weeks. The road to Deadpool and Wolverine has been littered with rumors and fan theories. Many have caused the book to go up in price and beginning trend. Sometimes those books drop as fast as they rose. However, this first appearance of Deadpool has been a classic since before the movie hype. That's not to say that the movie isn't hyping the book up even more, shooting it straight to the top 10 list this week. I mean, really, this book became an uber key when we got the first movie. It wasn't a key when, you know, Ryan Reynolds had his mouth sewed shut in Wolverine Origins. Just saying, it was a key, but wasn't a huge key because it didn't transcend comic books. Let's go to number 3. Venom the Hunted, number 1 from 1996, the first cameo appearance of Xenophage. This is a book, you know, about $15, $20, maybe $30 raw. Look, 167, 198 last sale in a 9.8. Let's look at the trend. Not a lot of them. They're only, look at this, only 39 on the census. 22 of them are 9.8s. And we can see, like, you know, 29, 30, nothing burger. This was a nothing burger until, bam, June. Then it dropped back down to 65 and now up to 151. So volatility, I don't know about Xenophage being, like, you know, a transcendent first appearance. Fans of Sony's non-MCU Venom series will be delighted to see the debut of the trailer for the latest movie. Were you delighted to see the trailer of the latest movie? Let me know in the comments below. I'm not sure I would use the word delighted, but that's just me. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Rumored to be Tom Hardy's final appearance of Venom, the trailer to Venom: The Last Dance showcased a wealth of symbiote goodness. It also teased a storyline that spoke to fans of the comic books. In one scene of the trailer, it looks like a xenophage is attacking Venom while battling at the top of a plane. While the creature was never named in the trailer, okay, got to be careful with this. Let's talk about Gargantos spec. Is it Gargantos or is it Shumagorath? It's neither one of them. Both books don't mean anything, especially the Gargantos. Don't get me started. I have one back there, please. Anyway, the appearance of the comic counterpart is uncanny. In fact, so similar that fans are hitting the aftermarket. The first appearance of Xenophage, the book has built up tons of speed in the aftermarket, yada, yada, yada. I would say, okay, you don't have to do your own research. You don't have to take it from me, but my advice is do not buy a 9.8 of this, right? Like, there aren't many out there. And I think you'd be cuckoo banana pants to do so. I don't think that makes sense at all, right? I mean, Xenophage, it's a villain in a Sony movie. I think it is a shame that if Tom Hardy's doing his last go around, I think they really need to incorporate Venom into the MCU. That would be fun, but it's Sony. Whatever. Let's go to numero dos. And this, I'm surprised this is showing up. Captain America 310, the first appearance of the Serpent Society and of Diamondback. Right, $20-some-odd book, a 9.8 just sold for $385.96 for $195. That doesn't make sense to me. And look, not a lot of sales on a 9.8. It just jumped up. I mean, look, it was low 100s and now 345. This is before there were no sales of a 9.8 during the boom. There are only 144 out there, 19 9.8s. Let's see what we have to say about this. Captain America Brave New World has undergone numerous changes. The latest changes were massive rewrites to the script, resulting in reshoots to redirect the film's plot. From those changes, rumors began circulating that the original villain, Serpent Society, would take a much smaller role. Some rumors even went so far as to say the MCU would remove them entirely. However, just this past week, a leaked image of the set showed Rosa Salazar in hot pink hair, seemingly portraying the villain Diamondback. Whether this picture is from previous filming or the reshoots is unknown, but it was enough to send her first appearance to the top of every collector's list. I kind of got rid of my Serpent Society books because I'm concerned about this Captain America film. I think there's a lot of moving pieces that don't make sense. It was like, it's been delayed forever. It really should have been like, I don't know, a phase 4 film. And we're just kind of poking along. Maybe Harrison Ford, if he's Red Hulk, is exciting. I also think, I'm also wondering, and let me know what you think, about Sabra appearing in the film. She's an Israeli superhero. That already meant right at the jump that this movie, it will not be distributed in most Arab countries. Right? Just right off the bat, they're not going to distribute it. Current political landscape internationally, a little bit of a hot button issue for Marvel and Disney to touch. I wouldn't be surprised if the reshoots eliminate Sabra. I wouldn't be surprised. Or at least decrease the her nationality, or the focus on her nationality. I'm not sure. I do have concerns about the movie. Overall, test screenings reports have been somewhat problematic. Let's look at number 1. And man, who doesn't want Superman 264, the first appearance of Steve Lombard with this great Phantom quarterback cover? Steve Lombard? Really? Okay. It's first appearance of Steve Lombard. It's a book that is a $15 book. 9/8 just sold for $290. Well, let's take a look at the history of 9/8s. There aren't many, let's just say, right? It is a book from 1973. Yeah, 1973. And it's been, $100 book, right? You can get a 9/8 of this. I mean, a 9/8 from 1973 of a Superman book, and there's still a 9/8 from 1973. And then for some bizarre reason, one sold for $412, and then it's back down to $121. And then one just sold for $350. But, I don't understand this. That's weird why that one sold for $412, which was like, well more than double what it had been going for. And there's not a lot of sales of this book. Let's just face it. So let's see what we have to say. Saturday Night Live's Beck Bennett is wild to think that James Gunn and Peter Safran were appointed co-chairs at DC Studios 2 years ago. We're only 1 year away. We're still more than a year away from the debut of Superman, set to launch DC Studios' plans for a new DC cinematic universe. Time flies. We are getting Creature Commandos before that. And there has been some notice today about casting for Peacemaker. One of the, and I'm not sure if if there was an announcement of who these folks are playing, but he cast David Denman in Peacemaker. And David Denman isn't necessarily a household name. He is best known for his role in what was the name of the character that he played? Roy in The Office, right? So kind of interestingly, right? Let me see. David Denman, Peacemaker. I'm just seeing if there's Peacemaker news just to join cast. I don't think there's any blah, blah, blah. Oh, she's playing Sasha Bordeaux while Denman's role is being kept under wraps. What I like about this is it talks about Checkmate spec. I have 3 first appearances of Checkmate in my pressed pile to go out to CGC that are 9/8 contenders. So yay. But David Denman played Roy on The Office, who was the ex-fiancé of Pam, who was played by Jenna Fisher, who's the ex-wife of James Gunn, who hired David Denman. Fun fact. Anyway, as the film progresses, expect the related key comic books to light up the aftermarket. That's what happened with this book. James Gunn himself confirmed the casting of SNL actor Beck Bennett as rival Daily Planet reporter Steve Lombard. The movie has all eyes on it, and every decision Gunn makes has been scrutinized with all those who are weary of past DC movies. However, it looks like this casting was a hit, and the aftermarket responded in kind. I mean, it's a nice little key. You know, at this era of Superman, Clark Kent was no longer a reporter for the Daily News. He was which is like preposterous. He was an anchorman for WGBS News. I think he was already with WGBS by that time. But Steve Lombard was a sports reporter. And he's kind of like, this Flash Thompson-esque jock on the staff of the Daily Planet. Was kind of a foil to Clark's like awkward nerd, I can't ask Lois out yet character. But yeah, it seems like you're the anchor of the evening news. And then like, if you're Superman, you got to kind of find an excuse to get off the evening news program. We're going live to a volcano erupting in Indonesia. And I'm going to sit here and not do anything about it. So anyway, it was fun. Swanderson art, all that. I don't think I have any like extra copies of this book. I know I have a copy of it. I doubt it's a 9.8 contender, but this is the kind of book that, at shows you kind of could be able to get it for $10, right? Probably. Some people will mark it up right now, but it's never been a huge key. Let's take a look at 11 through 20. What do we got? Oops, over. Okay. 11 is Venom Lethal Protector #1. Juno Temple would be joining the cast of Venom 3. Speculating she would play Scream. Maybe. X Factor 5, the first cameo appearance of Apocalypse. This book has been staying around. We haven't seen any slabbed copies yet. This is the In-Hyuk Lee 1 in 25 facsimile of New Mutants 98, first appearance of Deadpool. The 1 in 20 Klaus Janson cover of Falling in Love on the Path to Hell. I don't think he's involved in I think he's just the variant cover. I don't think he's one of the creators of the book. No, he is not. And where are we? X Factor 15, #2 on the list last week, first appearance of Apocalypse. X-Men 97, #1, cover A. Spawn #1, it's always going to be hanging around. X-Men 4, first appearance of Omega Red. That's a tried and true book. Another Doom #1, and the Virgin variant by Jenny Frisson of Spider-Gwen Ghost Spider #1 that just came out. So that's it for this week's Cover Price Top 10. Let me know in the comments below what you think of the books on this list. Do you have any of them? And are you buying into the Steve Lombard spec? Until next time, you can take a look at a couple of my other videos here. And this is Jim saying, until next time, enjoy your comics.